But like my big thing was always trying to bridge that gap between like traditional civil rights, social justice, and cannabis. Because in my mind, I'm like, cannabis is the biggest social justice issue of our times, right? Like how many people I know been locked up behind this. Like I have.
And only this.
Yeah, only this, right?
Nonviolent offenses.
Yeah, like I've literally never done any other type of, like I was a good kid, all this type of stuff, arrested for cannabis multiple times. And everybody I knew and grew up with in Trenton was the same thing.
It's the Lasagna Ganja podcast, Mr. X to the Z exhibit.
And your girl, Tammy, a.k.a. the Cannabis Cutie.
Man, it has been a crazy holiday season going up into this. I personally think Thanksgiving is fucking kicked off the planet too quickly. We don't even have a chance to, it's like the next day, Christmas is here, like full blast.
Trees are up.
I don't like Christmas. I don't like holidays where I have to buy people shit.
Understood. Yeah, I made a deal with my kids.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you want?
Right.
What, so it's like VRs, computers. All right, let's do that. And then let's save all the other stuff that we're going to donate next year.
Are your kids' birthdays next to any holidays?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh, wow.
I had my son on Easter, and then my daughter, she always, like every 5 years, her birthday is on Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you save the big gift for which holiday? Birthday or Christmas?
Christmas. But then like big birthdays also get big gifts. Like,
what's a big birthday?
Like you're a new teenager. My daughter just turned into a teenager, so she got
like 12 to 13?
Yeah, 13. I know.
Yeah, I guess they do want different shit. At that time.
Yeah, their identity changes.
Yeah, I got a 13-year-old. I get it, he's into fashion, like expensive clothing, but he's already taller than me. You know what I'm saying? So he grows really quickly. So I was like, yo, this is not going to fit you in like a week. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like, yo, I was like, I was never into fashion. Like even now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll still buy my shit from T-Mart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I still,
it's different out there. They're trying to, it's a different world. We didn't have social media, so we kind of all wore what somebody else was wearing. There was like regional styles. Now everybody's trying to look like a celebrity in 7th grade.
Well, we have a celebrity here with us today in the world of cannabis.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. Who do we have with us today?
We have Tahir Johnson from Trenton, New Jersey here.
Hell yeah. Jersey in the house. Shout out to Redman. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. Listen, we're going to bring him in. We got a lot to talk about. This brother's doing a lot of positive things in cannabis and also on the social background. It's going down. We're going to conversate with him a lot. The Lasagna Ganja podcast right here. Turn it up. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend here with us. What's going down with you, man?
Y'all? How y'all doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the show. I know we had a brief conversation at MJ BizCon. I really wanted to get, it more in depth with what your mission is and what you're doing. So I'm glad you joined with us today.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all both, man.
Yeah. For sure.
Ready to get into it.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Talk to us. Tell us. So one of the things that I have seen on the internet, you've got a new store opening up.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And you powered with the one, the only Wanda James, which is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah. So my dispensary is Simply Pure Trenton, repping with the hoodie today.
Yeah.
But we're shooting to open on MLK Day, January 15th. So licensed the brand. I'm partnering with like you said, Wanda James.
Yeah.
She's the first black owned recreational dispensary in the country out there in Colorado. So for me, just to be able to work together with her, just get knowledge from her. But then even to carry this legacy, carry the torch of the brand of what we're doing. And, we were one of the first black-owned companies to get our license in New Jersey, too. So just continuing that legacy has been dope.
Yeah. And she serves as a mentor for you as well.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Man, it's crazy. Facebook. Like I
Okay.
was the social media, the internet. Like I used to do this, I used to do like these virtual cannabis seminars.
Yeah.
And we would like live stream them on like, different platforms, Facebook and stuff. This is back when I used to work for an organization called the National Cannabis Industry Association.
Okay.
And like one day I saw her in the comments or whatever on the video, and I replied to her comments, and she inboxed me her number. We talked on the phone. This was like years ago. This is like 2020.
Okay.
And we just ended up talking on the phone for a couple hours, kicking off a friendship from there. And like I, just kicking it with her and her husband a few times over the years and everything. And when it came time to do the dispensary, launching it this way made more sense than wanting to do it myself, because I'm all about trying to build like for Black folks, trying to build build culture, build business. So I thought to be able to like expand her brand would be doing more for the culture, like for the people, than me even starting my own joint.
Right. So. Yeah. That's amazing. So is Trenton, New Jersey, the first expansion of Simply Pure? So this will be store number 2.
This will be store number 2. Yeah. So with Wanda, like it all started from the internet. And when I launched Simply Pure, I thought that it would do more for the people, for the culture, for us to partner and collab together and make us stronger than, just me going off doing my own thing. So that's how it came about.
Don't.
So do you guys have any plans for other stores? Like, are you guys planning on partnering with people in different territories? Or are you guys just kind of focusing on Simply Pure Trenton and then the one in Colorado?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know there's, excuse me, definitely looking at trying to grow the brand, take it outside of here. Jersey's just the start. But I know that Wanda's had conversations with folks in other states, and I've been a part of some of those. So, for us to be able to build a multi-state or really a Black-owned brand across the country would be the goal, because something like that doesn't exist right now.
Right.
So, yeah, that's the goal.
Well, tell me about the New Jersey market, because you've been to stores out here. You've seen, the kind of process. You go to Colorado, it's like a deli style still in some places. Tell us about the New Jersey market as far as how many stores are there, and does it have its own brands in state? Like what's the landscape like? Yeah,
so Jersey's still pretty new. Like it just got legalized April 2021. And when they opened up the market, it was all they opened up the market with the MSOs, the multi-state operators that were previously medical. They let them open up the market first. So when they first opened up, it was like only like 12 dispensaries. Now we're at like 75. And so
are they spread out, or is it concentrated?
No, they're all over the place. In my county where I'm at, there's only 2 that are open right now. So it's still a, pretty open market. And right now, in terms of cultivators, there's not that many. They're right now the ones that are open and on the market, like the cultivators and manufacturers. Most of those are those same big companies, but there's quite a few folks that are coming online. Like independent operators, folks transitioning from the legacy market, people that got that fire. So I'm excited about that.
Oh,
brands from other states, all of that stuff is coming.
That's a sweet spot. That's a sweet spot to be in.
Yeah.
So people are so as far as brands, what are the people gravitating to out there? What's one of the bigger brands?
Yeah, I mean, right now, like. That's crazy, because I don't even want to, like, I'll say, like, you know what brand I'll say? My homegirl Martha, she a Black woman on brand. She just launched her butter cake, a brand of edibles. That's fire. My dudes Brendan and Stan, they got a joint called Mud Brothers. That's concentrates. Those are like 2 Black owned brands that are dope, that are out right now. Like I said, I'm really waiting for like more to come out and hit the market, because there's not really a lot of those options right now. Right now, most of what you're buying, again, nothing wrong with that, but most of the stuff that you're buying right now came from like the larger companies, the Curaleafs, the Ascend Wellness, the Columbia Cares of the world, stuff like that.
So what do you want to bring to the market?
One of the things that's been part of the Simply Pure tradition is housing those Black owned brands.
Yeah.
Like in Colorado, I would say her dispensary is probably the first one that had that. Like there's a whole Black owned brand section like in the dispensary. And that's just not only like cannabis products, but like accessories, ancillary stuff as well. So I want to do the same thing at ours. supporting like having the mainstream brands, but like the minority-owned, woman-owned brands. And then one of the other things that's important is in addition to like non-cannabis products, we want to have a big area for like merch and different stuff like that too. So on that, I really want to have fly stuff, you know, not just regular like stuff that you see, you know, you go to these cannabis conventions, everybody's giving out little t-shirts and stuff, but it's not nothing you would ever really wear. So we want to like try to bring something different and have something fly that people would actually mess with.
Yeah, that's dope. I love that. So you have done a lot of work politically as well in New Jersey.
I have,
It's talk to us about it.
Yeah. So you know that my work in policy and all of that, it actually started before New Jersey. Before I so I grew up in Trenton, New Jersey, which is the capital, and I went to college at Howard University. So I was living in DC since 2001 after school, and I was working in finance before cannabis. So fast forward to 2019. My pops had he got diagnosed with something called fibromyalgia. So he got he had like, you know, it's like he was having to take this different medication, something called prednisone, like all this other stuff.
What is that? What, say that again?
It was called the main one I remember that it was called prednisone. It was like
it's a
like
steroid.
No, I was talking about the actual
he
illness.
had fibromyalgia.
What does that
it's
do?
Like
what does it affect?
It's like I want to say it's like affects like his he be having like pain, like a lot of different pain, almost like arthritis type stuff.
It's a chronic pain disorder that they don't understand what it is or where it's coming from, but it's just a really uncomfortable disorder. And actually, Dr. Ethan Russo believes it to be an endocannabinoid deficiency disorder.
Wow.
See, and that probably could be it. Like, and see, I knew you could break it down with the medical. But like when my pops had that, I came to him and I was like, yo, Dad, like, because I learned about, like, I remember back when I was at Howard, I did this report on medical cannabis. And at that time, you know, it was all Cali. So I was reading about that different stuff. So like when I come to my dad, I'm like, yo, Dad, you should try some of this medical cannabis stuff. He's like, son, I've been smoking weed since the 60s, man. Ain't nothing you can tell me about this. And so I'm like, nah, you know, it's all this different stuff now. The topicals, tinctures, like, you know, was learning about all of that. RSO, like different stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so he didn't want to get his medical card. You know, he came from the old school. He was believing,
they gonna come
like,
kick my door.
Yeah, that's what he thought. He was like, nah. He was like, they just want to make you get his medical card so you can be on record. So they come bust you down.
See, they got you.
We're in the gore files now.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, it's like if you get your medical card, like I'll get it too. And so that's how I even found out, like really started learning and exploring the whole like legal cannabis industry in the first place. So I ended up, I was working part-time at a dispensary in Maryland called MedLeaf, and I ended up quitting my job in finance. During that time, I found myself at Minority Cannabis Business Association, their lobby day. That's the organization I'm actually a board member of now. But at the time, my homegirl, Shanita Penny, she was the president of the organization. And I didn't know nothing about lobbying, like policy, none of that stuff. Like, I watched House of Cards. That was really my whole, you know, only thing I knew about DC.
Yeah.
So when I went to MCBA lobby day with Shanita, and I showed up, and there was a list of like all these different members of Congress that we wanted to try to go talk to during the day. And so I'm looking at the sheet, and I'm like, yo, if one of my boys is chief of staff for one of these congressmen, should I hit him up? And everybody's just turning and looking like, what? You got connects like that? Because I'll say, like, I've always been like a relationship person. Like people from childhood all to professional, you know, keep in touch with them, right? It's not, because I'd say the biggest thing I learned, especially from being a financial advisor, a lot of times it's not what you know, it's who you know. And then really even more than that, who knows you, right? So always been like a super connector. So long story short, like we pull up, we're in just walking through the hill, and we go through show up at the office at the time. This is one of my childhood friends. He was the chief of staff for Congressman Swalwell. So we walk into the office, and I asked for him. I was like, yo, is Michael Reed here? And you know, they gave me the like, oh no, he's not here. You can leave your paperwork type thing. And I'm like, yeah, I was like, can you tell him Tahir Johnson stopped by? And he heard my voice. So he comes out the back office. He's like, yo, it was good, you know? And again, this is one of them, like another black man, right? We ain't seen each other in a long time. So we got together, and like me being on the scene, like in front of like all the cannabis people, like people from a lot of organizations was there, like NCIA, Normal, MPP, like all that stuff. So when they saw me moving the way I was, I think at the time there, like, you know, again, looking back at 2019, there really weren't any black folks that were like kind of moving like that and doing things like that. And so my boy Calico Castile, who was the head of marketing at NCIA, he told me that they had a job opening, applied for it and ended up getting it, and the rest was history. So that's where I really started with policy, because NCIA is the oldest and largest trade group. We had about 1,500 members across the country. And so like we were actively on the Hill, and my goal, I ended up getting a role being the head of diversity there. And so I started becoming part of the conversation about how do we make sure it's social equity, like people of color getting opportunities to get into the industry. Because the one thing I found is I was going to these different cannabis things like all across the country. You go there, it'd be like one or two of us, maybe three there. Yeah. So we started building the network and really finding out we're all facing the same stuff, like everywhere, right? It's the same problems, the same stuff I was hearing y'all talk about in Cali 5 years ago is the same stuff that everybody's talking about in Jersey now. So, you know, I kind of got that preview from the movie and was able to get game from so many different people. And from there, just moving through different organizations, like after NCIA, I went on to a bigger one called the Marijuana Policy Project, and then even one called U.S. Cannabis Council, where I pretty much represented all the largest companies in the country doing the same thing, like trying to help them figure out what their social equity policies were. I was doing different things. Like I partnered with the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, did an internship program. But like my big thing was always trying to bridge that gap between like traditional civil rights, social justice, and cannabis. Because in my mind, I'm like, cannabis is the biggest social justice issue of our times, right? Like how many people I know been locked up behind this. Like I have.
And only this.
Yeah, only this, right?
Nonviolent offenses.
Yeah, like I've literally never done any other type of, you know, like I was a good kid, all this type of stuff, arrested for cannabis multiple times. And everybody I knew and grew up with in Trenton, it was the same thing. We all got busted for weed.
It is a civil rights issue because you went from chattel slavery and it was like, all right, they're free. How can we control them? Convict leasing. All right. How can we criminalize them? If you don't have a job, you get, you know, your convict leasing, and now we can let you die. We don't own you. We're not responsible for you. And then it moves into, you know, we get to Jim Crow eventually.
Yeah.
And then, you know, okay, that's taken away from us. Now what can we do? It was mass incarceration. And how can we criminalize everybody? Everybody is using this plant. So it really is a civil rights issue. We can do everything that we want to fight. They're going to figure out how to put new policies in place to replace the ones that you just took away from them.
And I mean,
so it's not a coincidence that there are Black families who have not been able to vote since they've been on this continent because they were enslaved, because of poll taxes, because of literary tests, and because of incarceration. There are bloodlines who have never been able to vote in this country. It is very intentional. It is very well designed. It is very successful. When we say the war on drugs failed, to us, for the people, yes. But for how they developed the system, it was very successful.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's a factual thing. Like I said, I'm the oldest of three. Me and all of my brothers have all been arrested for weed, like you know, multiple times. So when you think of that, like you said, I know how many of my friends couldn't go to college, right? Because you couldn't get financial aid. Like it's those little things like that. You get a record, it makes it hard to get a job.
Yeah.
Like I was blessed that I was still able to achieve a lot of the things I did, even though I had cannabis charges. Like I said, I worked in finance before. And when I got my first job, I was at Morgan Stanley as an investment advisor. My boss, he literally, like I got the background check came back, and you know, they normally don't even give people like this at that job. And he sat me down, he was like, look, he's like, I'm going to give you this opportunity, but this could never, like nothing like this could ever happen again. And he saw the, you know, he saw something in me and wanted to give me the opportunity, and I did. And so like I hustled, like busting my ass there, and was, like I said, killing, you know, the fact having that background in finance, understanding money made a big difference for me in cannabis. Because
I was going to ask you about that, because coming from that background and having that insight first and then going into cannabis, there's a lot of shit shows around here.
Yeah.
What is a good investment in your eyes for cannabis?
Yeah. You know, somebody was actually asking me this yesterday. So I'll say, what I think are better investment opportunities in cannabis right now are private like private cannabis investments, right? Like the smaller companies. Like if you think about these bigger, like the cannabis that's on the stock market, right? Now, I mean, long term, an investment in those companies is like 280E eventually goes away. All that stuff will be profitable. But if you think about, like, imagine somebody like me that owns one dispensary, like in New Jersey, a new market, you know, something like that. Making an investment in that is I mean, it's almost like if you have those types of opportunities, it's more likely to be profitable because you don't have all the overhead or the costs, all these other things of small dispensaries. And if you're in a market like one of these newer markets that's performing well, you know, not a lot of competition yet, you get first mover advantage. So you think about like New Jersey, like Maryland, where it's about to, you know, have a new system, Ohio, you know, like all the new states, like these new states with, you know, a lot of the bigger companies, their strategy is limited markets, right? Like places where there's less licenses, less opportunities. And I think we could do the same thing, make the same type of plays. So investing in like building our own companies that could do that, I think that's how we win. So like I want to, like, you know, like be able to build, like I said, little by little, get these licenses in other states and just take advantage of these other opportunities and build it, because like the foresight from the finance, I think, is what really how I first looked at the industry. If I go all the way back then, I actually reading about my homegirl Hope Wiseman, who I think y'all met too, was one of the first inspirations for me because she was an investment banker. So like I had that kind of inspiration. And then when I was seeing a lot of the different people that were executives at these companies, they had like credentials and backgrounds like me. Now I didn't have the money like them, but you know, I know something about the money. And being able to have the confidence to like talk to people, even talking to an investor, right? You look somebody in the eye and say you need $1 million and say with a straight face, more than like, hey, let me get it. Like, it makes a difference, right? So like knowing your numbers, knowing your books, like, I mean, knowing your business, all that stuff made a difference. So my background in investments, I think, was helpful there. But also, I think from the beginning, the way I always wanted to approach it was not looking at the industry just for me. I always wanted to figure out how to take my skill that I have and have it be for, you know, for our community. Like, how do we make sure we can provide access to capital? Because that's really the biggest thing. Like, if you think about it, people from like, it costs at a minimum, they're going to say $1 million to open a dispensary or whatever, right?
Absolutely.
Now, if you don't got it, nobody in your family got it, right? Like, you don't have the personal wealth, where else are you going to get it from? Cannabis is federally illegal. You can't go to the bank and get a business loan like any other business.
Exactly.
So you're dealing with venture capital, private equity, wealthy investors. And most Black folks are minorities, like Latino folks. We don't have nobody like that in our network. And then even when you do get in front of those people, like these people are sharks. Like they be going hard. Like a lot of people trying to figure out how to like take it from you.
Yeah, they're absolutely going to take it
just
from
being able to like understand that and know like a good deal and like all of those things is critical, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it nicely. And that was the
absolutely
clinical.
did,
That was the
because-
clinical
Man,
version.
there's sharks. You
They're
know,
out
you
here
probably-
stealing companies
But,
through operating
yeah.
agreements.
There's some
Yeah.
landmines here. You know what I'm saying? And having your background, I'm pretty sure you were able to bypass a lot of those landmines, even though, you know, nobody's ride is perfect, but it had to have helped.
And it definitely helped. And I'll say I took some L's and like learned some lessons and did things that I would have done differently. Like for me, one, I think from a budget standpoint, like this ended up costing a lot more to do than I thought it was going to.
Tell me about it.
So like starting at that, like alone, I think is one. And then I think one of the things I learned a lot about people, I tend to like trust people, and I'm very giving, kind of like family. But what I found is that most of the people in this, a lot of people are out for $1 for themselves. And so the first opportunity they got to like screw you over, they're going to do it. Like, and not even for that much. Like, if you're like, you want like for this, like, so I think I've learned the way that you really have to move, and like, I mean, the contract stuff, and like, you know, for me, having a good like legal team, and now that I had like I have other like people on my team that have now joined, they have all different types of expertise. So that's been a game changer too.
Yeah. That's important. Have people smarter than you. That is so important.
Do you hire do you hire friends and relatives?
You know what? No, because like most of my and this has been I think a difficult part, like being back home, because like my family's all around, but I feel like I've learned and like watched other people's situations, and I don't ever like want to have that. So I figure out how to incorporate my family, but I don't want to be in a position because like I know how like my standards are, like if I'm running, so I don't want to be like having them expectations of them because it's like you being late, like, you know, not doing shit right. You my brother, you know, because the way my brothers are, I can't, if I try to tell them I'm late, you probably tell me. So it's like, you know, end up a fight or argument. So it's like, you know, I was going to say what he probably would have said, but I don't want to say it on this show.
Insubordination.
Yeah, right.
No, you can't do that in front. Listen, the brother shit stopped at the door, playboy.
Yeah.
You are late, my nigga.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't ever want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, like I said, I would rather try to figure out how I can like put them on and like what they want to do and support that. But
it's hard, man. You know, and we had this conversation a lot. You know, everybody has a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
For me, it's always come back to bite me in the ass. You know, and I love my friends, I love my family. I just don't think that you're right. That relationship has to change and shift. And if they're not mature enough to respect that shift all the time, not when it's convenient, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then it turns into something else.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it really is the maturity level.
Right.
Because you see a lot of cultures go into business with nothing but family.
Right.
And it works.
Right.
So it really comes down to like when we walk through these doors, you cannot take personal what I'm about to say.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
I'm not coming at you, my relative, my loved
Why do we
one.
even have to explain that?
Yeah.
Maturity, I guess.
I know, but come on, guys.
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
should be understood.
But you know, our culture, a lot of us haven't been in this type of situation before, right? That's what I think about. Like, I'll never forget, like, and this was the perspective that I had from like working at places like Morgan Stanley. This dude, he was like a top advisor in the country, but so was his dad, right? So he would be like, yo, when I was a kid, like I would come to with my dad to meetings, I would go with him to see his accountant, like, you know, knew all this. My parents didn't have no accountant, like, you know what I'm saying? Our people don't have that type of stuff. So when you have that type of foundation, I think it makes a big difference. So, and plus we're also, I mean, a lot of times coming from a place of scarcity. So if one person gets something, like everybody be like trying to figure out how to get something.
It's complicated. I mean, I tried to consult for a friend's company multiple times, and they just like questions that I have to ask as a consultant. I'm not trying to dig in your business to clown you. Like when I give you the projections based on what's happening right now, I'm not shitting on your strategy. I'm just showing you this is the facts. Like if you continue this way, this is going to be how long until this happens or X happens or until you break even. And it's like they take it so personal, and I'm like, I'm just showing you like your before picture.
We're gonna smash those
right?
numbers.
Like
I
have to show you where you are, so then I can create a new strategy and then show you the benchmark of like, this is what we were doing. Here's what we're doing now. Like, but I feel like when I'm doing that for a company, they're like, yeah, sure. Like it's invasive, it's uncomfortable. But when it's family, they're like, why you got to say that? And why you got to, it's just like,
why you say my business ain't gonna make no money? You're like,
why you got to say it like that? It's like, I was just saying a fact. So I think it gets too personal. It's just, I don't know. I don't think there's any way around it.
Yeah. And I'll say like on the friend thing, it's like, you know, I'll say like people that I'm like professional friends with, right? Like all the people that, because like all the people that are working with me now are people who I've seen them like, or like worked with them or like knew their work. So like we're friends, like we know each other in the past, but it's not like, you know, the homie who I'm going kicking it with, like type
so
thing
the
like
balance there is to not become friends outside of work.
Right. I mean, you know, it's like we're all cool, but you know, but again, it's still professional.
Right. I got best work friends.
Yeah. And so I think that works, right? Because again, we're all here for a reason, trying to achieve a goal, and you know what they're bringing to the table, and so you have from the beginning, you have those expectations. If I hired you because you're an attorney, right? Like I'm expecting you to be attorney and not like, you know, it's not because you're the homie type thing.
I don't hire the homies. We're just good at being homies.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it there. But you know, I found it be able to keep my relationships kind of in order like that.
Yeah.
You know,
man, I imagine you probably have had to deal with that. I was listening to I was watching the Jay-Z conversation. He was like, somebody at Thanksgiving asked you for $4,800 or something, and it was like, I was like, dang, hope ain't give his cousin $4,800. But then again, if everybody's asking,
it's not the dollar amount.
Yeah,
right. It's not the dollar. Yeah, I'm glad we got into this because I've had my issues with that. And it always comes down to some type of entitlement after a while, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. But, if you have somebody in your life that may have had a financial windfall, that has some type of, profession that pays them a lot of money, here's a bit of advice. They get your request, 75 other motherfuckers' requests, all in the same day.
Yeah.
So it's not just you asking, and they may not say necessarily it's just you, but these requests come from multiple places, multiple sources. And I personally feel like, let me give it to you out of the goodness of my heart. Don't ask for it. Let me give it to you because you probably gonna bless you with more than you actually gonna ask for in the first place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to do good and people want to actually help other people, but let it come from them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't count other motherfuckers' shit and be like, I need that. And like, so does he. You know what I'm saying? Like, he needed it for something else.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I try to do. Like, what I've learned in the business, a lot of times, like, I don't take favors from people. Because a lot of times people would be like, yo, I could do this for you. But I don't even want nothing. I'd be like, nah, how much it costs? Because I don't want anybody coming back later to be like, remember I did this for you, and feel like I owe anybody nothing. Like, you just got to
give, you got to take. Sometimes you may have the resources to give, do it. You know what I'm saying? But it not freely. You got to pick and choose those relationships and make sure that it's not that you're like looking for, I need to get something out of this. But if you believe in somebody's mission and you believe that you can actually help them go forward, and it's not costing you an arm and a leg to do it or whatever, you can actually get it done. Get it done. There's not many of us. So
and like, if you could invest, and then again, what would be better than like if it's a friend or family member to actually invest in their business and help them out and all of that stuff, maybe if it's a good one.
That ain't gonna happen.
I mean, like I said, in this cannabis thing already, man, like I've been burned from helping friends already.
Come on, dude.
So.
Man, I
you see the skid marks from the shit I've been through. I heard somebody say,
that's a good one.
Success is like having a baby. Everybody says congratulations, but nobody knows how many times you got fucked.
Man, because this shit is hard. Like, you think to get to this far, man. Like, it's been hard. It's been a lot of struggles, like sacrifices.
Yeah. But I feel it's worth it,
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't take it back.
Yeah, I feel it's worth it. I feel like this is going to be a point in time that's going to be looked back on. It's going to be, in the history books. We're on the forefront of that. I think it's going to be dope to be able to, put a stamp somewhere in there,
Yeah, I definitely think about that. Like, with us being so early on in this, like, what is like you said, how will they read about this in the future? And like every little thing we do could impact that and be right in that story. So I'm always trying to be cognizant of like the time. It's like living in a movie for real.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What else they gonna legalize?
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
Please.
they said down at Venice Beach it's going up already.
I'm sure. Like that's our red light district.
Our producer,
just
Tree
missing a couple things.
Yeah, they said it's out there like free market, like going down. Like, do we want a bunch of people on mushrooms at Venice Beach?
Yes.
Do we want that?
I feel like they already are, or crack. I mean. They're already on crack down there.
I'd rather have the mushrooms than the crack.
Well, according to you, crack is like a fucking soccer mom drug now.
Absolutely not.
So that's some weak shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it is a model drug. It's like models do crack so that they won't be hungry.
Wow.
And they stay skinny. I learned this.
No way.
I learned this from a New Yorker friend of mine. I was shocked.
Crack?
So they don't make it
crack is a middle class drug. It's like a white middle class drug. Crack.
I still can't get over that.
Crack. It's cheaper than coke. It's Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, if a model walking anywhere I am smelling like rock cocaine, I bitch. You say,
Yeah.
what
That's
are you
not
doing?
good, man. That's
It's not that
good.
serious.
That's not
I
good.
promise you, I was shocked. I was shook. I was shook.
Mm.
I don't
You
want to
know,
do crack at all, but
You know, crack has a smell. You know what I'm saying? That shit.
I bet. I
That's
don't.
Like,
not a
whoa,
good
daddy,
one.
you know.
I don't want to
I
know what it
smell
smells
Chanel
like.
number 5 in Freebase.
That's a
What
crazy
the
fragrance.
fuck?
Yeah, like what are they modeling?
Hey, man.
I mean, you know, it's competitive out in New York. You got Fashion Week. It's like all
Yeah.
the beautiful girls are in New York or in LA. So
Yeah.
Smelling like rocks.
I don't
that
know what it's
crack.
like to be a skinny white girl. I just feel like it's so hard.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully there's other alternatives out there, you know?
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
There's gotta be something.
I was shook. I was like, this
said,
is
"I
what
don't know."
you got to do crack to stay thin. Like, oh my gosh.
That's
I
gotta
can't even
affect a
imagine
whole lot of
somebody
stuff.
saying like telling another person that with a straight face to like be
I don't
like,
know, but I like the drugs that make me hungry, like weed. Like, give me
Yeah.
that. I
Me
want
too.
that. I want that. I want to go
Yeah,
eat.
I'm with it.
Oh yeah.
But
Okay, so what's next for what's next for the dispensaries, brother?
yeah, man. So in Jersey, you know, trying to keep growing there. We want to apply for other licenses.
You have cultivation?
I just submitted an application for cultivation. So that's next. Hopefully I had the approval on that soon. Want to do delivery too. So cultivation and delivery, those are the other two we're allowed to have in Jersey.
Right.
Excuse me. So I want to go for those. Looking at other states now, I actually just got done submitting my application in Maryland before I came on here.
Wow.
I applied for a dispensary there and a micro cultivation. So hopefully I'll get
So you're
that.
doing everything like boots on the ground.
Yeah,
like
man.
you and your how many people you think you got on the team?
So now, in addition to myself, I just bought on my COO, Tiffany McBride. She's dope. She just came over from the parent company. So she was working for Hove before. My CFO, Deidre Barksdale, she's super dope. She was the CFO of the Congressional Black Caucus before. She was the CFO of the United Negro College Fund. So she like knows money. My head of HR, Lynette, she was the head of HR at Curaleaf, which was like the largest cannabis company in the world. And she was employee number 3. So when she left there, they had 6,000 employees. So she helped to scale them from 3 to 6,000.
Wow.
So like, you know, she's on my team. And then my marketing manager, Fresh, he just came from Curaleaf too. And I'm trying to put together a team of like strong people so that we could really like take over the game, man. So right now I've just got 4 other people, but like 4 people that are like all
that's
super
what I'm saying.
beasts, like in their category.
Everybody's doing their job.
Yeah, and like so like actually MJ Biz was like our first time all being together as a team, because Deidre and Lynette have been rocking with me for a couple months now, but Fresh and Tiff just both started like 2 weeks ago. So it was great being out there. We were rocking out. And so,
hell yeah, man.
Yeah, having being able to have other people help you with stuff is like amazing. And it's a game
you can't do
changer.
it alone, man.
Yeah. It's
you gotta have good people around you.
Absolutely.
As before, I was trying to figure out how I get more hours in a day. Because
that is such a losing strategy. Like people ask me all the time how I do it all. It's like I have great people around me. There's no way I'm doing all of this by myself and raising children and being talent. Like I'm not. There's really good people who are really good at what they do, and they're part of the team.
Yeah,
and
no, it's a blessing to feel that, because before my answer would be like somebody would make a joke and be like, "How do you do all this? You must not sleep." And I'd be like, "I don't." But then even like you said, that sacrifice of kids, like because like I have 3 daughters and they're all still down in DC where I was living, and you know, like I'm back home in Jersey, and I go there on the weekends as much as I can. Yeah. But it's definitely a sacrifice not getting to see them every day, because I was a present dad. Like I was with them every day. Or most days. So like even making this change and being away from them has been different. So it's a sacrifice. We got to make it to take it back for the fan.
Absolutely.
Well, one thing I've learned is that if you don't make the time or take the time, you'll never get it.
Yeah.
So I now kind of shift things that I know I have to do and prioritize them, but then there are things I want to do, you got to rest as hard as you work.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to. You got to give yourself a chance to recharge. So often we run ourselves in the ground in lieu of this is I'm getting shit done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at what expense?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So me and Tammy have been going back and forth. I've been, kind of focusing on health. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Went and got my check engine lights looked at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Made sure all my shit was looking good because, time is our biggest asset.
Mm-hmm.
So, trying to be more present. I feel that.
That's real, man. Like, so that's my biggest goal. I'm excited for the day. Like when hopefully at least I know that the Dispensary Open is really just a starting line, not a finish line, but I'm at least hoping to check this box so I can maybe take some time back and, give back to them. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The kids are important. I made the choice, like I could easily go after my career and kill it and be traveling and doing so much. But my kids, I had a mom that was busy working. She didn't have a choice. Like she had to work. She was a single mom. And I have the choice to pick up my kids from school and drop them off. And that means so much to them. And I know it does.
Yeah.
So I'm like still a full-time parent and full-time career person. And I agree with you. Like rest, I've learned to now schedule it. Like I'm not doing anything on this day. And it's not like, oh, I've earned it. It's like my body can't handle this 7 days in a row. I'm getting sick now. So it's like I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm getting sick. So I can't be on this hustle grind mentality. Like whoever started that, honestly, fuck you. Like, we have so many sick and stressed out people. Like rest it's godly, right?
Yeah. That saying, you can rest when you're dead, a grindstone.
Yeah.
All of these terms aren't positive terms.
Negative,
you know what I'm
toxic
saying?
AF.
Yeah, you got to be able to balance. And I think that's everybody's balance is different. Everybody's goals are different.
Yeah.
But one thing remains is that we physically are affected by our choices.
Right.
And some wrong decisions may even stop you from reaching your goals, even though it may be attainable.
Yeah.
So I've started trying to look for that balance because I used to just pound the mountain. John Henry, pound the mountain. Like if somebody dropped the ball, fuck it, I do that too. I pound the mountain and carry the bucket and you know what I'm saying, hop around and there's no way. If something's going to suffer,
Well, the beauty of this cannabis plant is it promotes homeostasis, which is just a fancy science word for balance.
Nah, you smoke the right thing, it's gonna put you down anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, Cat Williams said it best. Fuck that goddamn light bill.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, brother, man, how did they get in touch with you?
Man, so everybody, you can find the dispensary, www.simplypuretrenton.com. You can follow me everywhere, Ty Diddy. And then the Simply Pure, we're on all the platforms, IG, Facebook, LinkedIn. And looking forward to connecting with y'all. Pull up on us in Jersey, January 15th. That's going to be the day. And, I'm loving Cali, man. I'm trying to get back out here.
Hey, come on, man. It's here for you, man. Everybody else comes. It's all good.
Not in the weed business now. I'm not messing with the Cali weed business. Just the weather.
The women, weed, and weather. Come on, you already know.
W's. That's it.
You already know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, man. So another great episode. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Appreciate y'all.
You can always find us at dcpofficial.com.
Yeah.
And it is the Lasagna Ganja podcast. You see, I'm
You
getting
did it,
better.
yeah.
I'm getting better. Yeah, it's the Lasagna Ganja podcast. Let's go.
Peace.
Check out the Lasagna Ganja podcast wherever podcasts are streamed.
And check out our separate feed with video episodes.
Available on Spotify and YouTube.
For more information, visit dcpofficial.com.